Hey guys, welcome. It's just me right now. Anna's eating ice cream or gelato, so that's what she's doing. So she won't be a part of this video, but we'll be doing more with that Amazing Spider-Man stuff that we were talking about, and working on stuff. So we'll have some of that up tomorrow. But I thought I'd do a couple of videos for today just to get some more content on the channel because it's all about the content. I don't know what that was about it. Anyway, so yeah, we had a good run last week. We were just really tired after the sketch show and stuff. As I said in the community page, you can go to the 18th and Union website, and it is streaming through December 9th, so you can see us in action doing sketch comedy, which is what we are very, very good at. Well, very, very good. Anyway, so enough of that nonsense. As you can see by the mask I was wearing, this Scream mask, this video will be kind of talking about the trash fire that is Scream 7. So for those of you who maybe have been sleeping under a rock, it's become reported that Melissa Barrera was fired for her comments on the Palestine-Israel thing. And Jenna Ortega had quit as well, which they said was due to scheduling things during Wednesday, which, who knows if that's true or not. Who knows, right? And whatever your feelings are on the whole Israel-Palestine thing, I'm staying all out of that stuff because it's just becoming really toxic in terms of people, on one way or the other. Whatever you feel about it, you feel about it. I'm not gonna try to change anybody's mind here. That's not really. The way I look at it is I am of neither. I'm not Israeli. I'm not Palestinian. I'm not Jewish. So I'm just going to keep my ass out of it. I think that's the best way to do it now. But, however you feel about what Melissa Barrera said, or whether you agree with her or disagree with her, or whether I disagree or agree with her, is regardless of the point. This is more about how Scream 7 is going to happen and what the hell they're going to do or possible directions they could go. But certainly not a great start. Because, Scream 6 was pretty good. It's not perfect, but it was solid. And so you've already had this two movies with these sisters, and now it's neither of them's going to be in the movie, so it's what the hell are you going to do? So there's a couple directions that are being discussed. I've heard some people say a full reboot, which I think would be a choice. Otherwise, they're looking at trying to get Nev Campbell and Patrick Dempsey's character back for reasons. He was fine in Scream 3, but and I guess they were trying to hint that he's the husband and father of her kids, I guess, which I guess is fine, but it would definitely be interesting. So let's explore those options as sort of a pitch of sorts. Okay, pitch number one. If they stayed in this universe, there is two options on that thing. One would be to do the unthinkable, which would be recast, which yes, movies get recasted sometimes because of situations with actors and stuff, but I don't know, recasting both of them though is it'd be one of them maybe, but it's still gonna be very obvious. I don't honestly, it's so weird, especially when they would do sequels. I remember when Major League 2 came out and it was Omar Epps was playing Wesley Snipes' role. I'm just that's not really Maze Hayes. He doesn't even look anything like Wesley Snipes. It's at least you're going to get somebody like them, at least get somebody at least that looks like them. Film their stunt double or something. I don't know. Nowadays, you pretty much just CGI them apparently. But, so I continue the story that way. Kind of like the pitch I was talking about. You bring the mother character in and all that stuff. So that's one option they could do. I don't think that's going to be well received, though. And really isn't fair to the actors who would be recasted because they'd have to pick up these roles that, these other people had already established for two movies. I think if you had done that after the first movie and they had to do it, then maybe you could get away with it. But we're two movies in now. It'd just be kind of unless it's just a straight-to-video thing back in the 90s, or I guess straight-to-streaming or whatever, now. But, that might have been okay, but it's when they did Underworld and it wasn't Kate Beckinsale, was that other actress. Is just who the fuck is this here? She at least slightly resembled her, but it was just who is this woman? You're not Kate Beckinsale. So I don't know. It's always one of those things that I can take it or leave it sometimes, but it like sometimes it's like, oh, okay, yeah, no, I don't buy this. This is not the same character. This actor doesn't look anything like that character. That's why I always consider Edward Norton's character like a variant, because Mark Ruffalo looks nothing like Edward Norton. So it's like, yeah. And then again, Edward Norton didn't look anything like Eric Bana, so whatever. That's all comic book stuff. But so that's one direction, recast. Another direction would be that they're killed in the first 5 minutes, or they are killed off screen, which would kind of really kill your story. But then I guess you would focus on the other two core four members. But which I mean, the girl play the sister one, like she's pretty good on Yellow Jackets and stuff. So I mean, she's a good actress. But I don't know. Would they? And Mason Gooding's not bad, but like, would you think of them as being? It'd be kind of like killing off Sydney and Gale Weathers, and then be like, and now it's Randy and Dewey's movie. It's kind of like you can get away with that in a horror series. I mean, they've done they killed Nancy off in Nightmare on Elm Street 3, and then they killed the surviving Dream Warriors off in Nightmare on Elm Street 4, which whether that was a good choice or not is certainly up to debate. But it's been done in horror before. I just think it'd be kind of, with no build up and having it be off screen would be kind of, because that's the thing. Like, I mean, you might get away with like killing off Sam, but like, I don't think you could kill off both of them just off screen, because you could probably with Jenna Ortega, if it's a scheduling issue thing, then that if that truly is the reason why she isn't back, then that's more of a okay, well, that character could still come back because we haven't killed this character off. Like she could have gone into hiding or something like that. That's like, if that's just the only issue and that's she didn't quit in support of her co-star or something like that, then okay, maybe there's still a negotiation process there and her character could come back to avenge her sister or something like that. Regardless, like I said, I still think there's some kind of like connection that they could have gone with. Because, like I said, most of the last two movies has been about her being the daughter of Billy Loomis and all that stuff. And it's like, it is interesting that they never, like, everybody wants to have Stu be alive and shit like that. But, like, they never even, like, connect maybe some member of his family going after revenge, or, like, oh, why'd she do get all the glory? And, why not tie in, like, someone's related to Stu somehow? Not that he has to have a secret kid, too, or anything like that. But, like, some kind of family member of some kind who maybe like, almost like kind of worshipped him or something like that. I don't know. You could go that route if you wanted to. If you kept the Sam character around, that would be a way to, possibly take the character out. That's a possibility, I suppose. But yeah, so that's their direction. You could go, like I said, you could focus on the other new characters, maybe, or you could do the Nightmare on Street 4 thing and introduce a completely new final girl, Here's a new character we want you to like. So here you go. I mean, hell, bring in the girl from Happy Death Day. Shit. She's pretty good. But anyway, I'm not saying they should go that route, but that's one way to go. One route to go. The other one is full reboot, which the question is, when you're going full reboot, what reboot are you doing, though? Are you reigniting the story you've already told? Are you going all the way back to Stu and Billy? Because I don't think a reboot for sure would work, like a full reboot, just because we already know the killers. So it's kind of like, hey, I'm a new Stu, Bill, and Bill. It's like, that would be pointless. Unless you completely change the story and it's new killers, then it's kind of like, I mean, that's the thing with Scream, it's always a new killer. But like, yeah, I don't know, the reboot, they could do that. I don't think it would be well advised. I don't think people would really be that invested, because you've already, like, if they were just doing a reboot like 20 years from now or something like that, okay, maybe you could get away with it, but like, not after you've done 2 movies with these other characters and it's like, by the way, these characters are not here anymore. It's a mess altogether. But the other thing is, and my friend Josh had said this, he says he thinks they'll wait it out. Like, he'll kind of let this stuff with the Israel-Palestine thing blow over. Maybe they'll get to meet again and talk and all that. The director seemed pretty upset that she was fired. He was like, that was not me. So, like, there's already a lot of upset feelings there. So it's like, yeah, maybe things could be smoothed over. Sometimes, like I said, Mel Gibson got a lot of heat for all his stuff, and that eventually blew over, and he was able to work again. And like a lot of actors, I mean, outside of like, unless you're getting like most of the time getting sexual assault type things, kind of kills your career. But like, or Kevin Spacey's you. But like those things, it's like, ooh yeah. Go over here, please, out of the spotlight. But like a lot of times, people who have messed up, or whether it's been drug issues or whatever the case, have been able to make comebacks eventually. Or you said some stupid shit, but it's like, well, we're gonna let that shuffle that away. We'll rebuild your image. That's how Hollywood is. So I don't think her career is necessarily dead in the water. I'm sure she'll be able to, make a comeback from it. People get emotional and say the things sometimes, and it is what it is. Lord knows I have. One of our most viewed videos was me ranting about the sketch community. So I mean, it was advised, and I shouldn't have done it, but whatevs. Life goes on. I learned from it. Everything's fine. So, sometimes we make mistakes, but and whether she, like I said before, whether you think she was right or wrong in what she said, is up to debate. But yeah, I don't really have a major problem with it. I'm just kind of like, well, maybe you shouldn't reference this part, but like, I think a rule of thumb too is never like ever compare anything to the Holocaust, or to keep the Holocaust out of it, because that's never a good route to go, because that is not going to get you any sympathy. That's just the only thing I would say about it, and that's all I'm going to say about it. But anyway, back to what to do. So yeah, okay. So they said full reboot. Like, I think if you did a full reboot, you would have to have like completely brand new characters. Like, you can't just be like, I'm the new Sydney. I'm the new, it's like, I think it would I don't think people are going to buy it, especially now. Like 20, 30 years from now, okay, maybe. But like, I think, most people are not going to buy it. Like, oh, you're not Nev Campbell, So it's like, I don't know. You could do that. I just think it's kind of too soon to reboot it again, It'd be like doing 2 Amazing Spider-Man movies and then rebooting. Oh, wait. So anyway, that's an option, though, if they wanted to explore it. Then the other one that seems to be on the table is bringing back Sydney and Patrick Dempsey for reasons. Now, there is a way you could go around that. I know a lot of people, they just keep going on that damn Sue's Alive thing that no one lets die. And look, I get it. Matthew Lillard just was in the Five Nights at Freddy's and all that. And look, and good for him for getting some work, But it's just like, guys, come on. He was smashed by it wasn't a flat screen TV. It was one of those big, old, heavy-ass TVs. He was electrocuted. He was already bleeding out from stabbing. He's fucking dead, guys. He's fucking dead. Now, I know horror movies like to, like, oh, here's a twist, and they're really alive. But, like, come on, guys. Like, really. It's just, he's fucking dead. But, erring on the side of caution and rolling with the punches, that could be a route they go, that he's secretly alive and hunting Sydney and her kids and her husband and all that stuff. And they could be the main focal points. Maybe Gail Weathers pops in there somewhere, since she's still alive too. It's like, there's always the option that they then there's the other option too, which is that they ignore the events of 6 and 5, like all these other horror movies. We're just gonna scrap that shit. Halloween 4 and 5 did not happen. Let's H2O this shit. Which that's kind of a wild thing. That sounds like that's what they would do. Like, here's an H2O thing. Remember those other characters? Forget all about them. We don't know anything about their story. Dewey's still alive. Here you go. I mean, that's a route they could go. I mean, I'm sure David Arquette would be fine with it, but it's just kind of like, I think the thing is though, I never had a problem with them killing Dewey or killing one of the original 3. I just think that like maybe the way it was done maybe wasn't the best, but especially from some small little girl who was like maybe 118 pounds, overpowering him. But it looks ridiculous. But it's Scream. It is what it is. But so yeah, I mean, they could do that. Like I said, they could H2O this and just ignore those 2 movies, and here we go. This is picking up after Scream 4, and there you go. But that's one thing I did like about Scream 6, just how they had all the killers, weapons and stuff like that, this shrine and shit. That was crazy. But yeah, it was interesting. But yeah, like I think there's room for something to do. The Scream has always got that kind of possibility of killers. But yeah, so you could have that angle there, the H2O. Let's focus on Sydney. Maybe Dewey is still alive. Maybe get Gale Weathers. Like I said, you could just. I mean, I could see a studio doing that, especially nowadays. Like how in 2018 did it, and so many other. Well, let's just ignore that sequel. Let's just ignore that crap. Well, those movies actually did decently, so I don't know why they do that. Like, at least ignoring the bad movies that bombed, that makes sense. But, like, that was a total stupid direction. But they could do that. It's an option. That's the question of whether Neve Campbell even wants to come back, or are they going to pay her right, to even come back? And what's the story? Is Stewie alive? Has he got a whole bunch of minions or something? If they bring Kevin Williamson back into the fold, who knows? Yeah, there's that. There's another outside the box option that you could also continue the story from the Scream TV series, not Resurrection. Forget that crap ever existed. But like shit, you kind of left that off on a cliffhanger. Now I don't know if you'd do that as a movie though, but like, why not finish that story at least so we could, have some closure. By God, have some closure. I liked the first 2 seasons of that. I thought it wasn't perfect, but it was solid. But then Wes has passed now, so who knows if they want to work on it or not. But but there's options to go there. So who knows, guys? Who knows what they're going to actually do? So those are just a couple potential pitches you could go, directions you could go. I don't really like any of them that much because it's kind of like I feel like the Sam and what the hell is her character's name? Jenna Ortega's character's name that escaped me. I feel like that story needs to complete. Like, at least complete it with a trilogy, and then you want to go in a different direction and go back to Sydney then. I mean, sure. If Neve Campbell's up for it. But, like, if you're going to continue this thing, I think you got to wrap that story up. So, like, hopefully, best case scenario, all things blow over and they just, bring them back and, work on the scheduling issues, and there you go. Or at the very least, if they're not going to bring Melissa Barrett back, at least get Jenna Ortega's character back. Then you can, make her kind of the final girl. And, she kind of was, they were kind of both the final girl in a sense. So, I mean, there's ways to go about it. Like, if you absolutely have to kill off Sam's character or something like that, or write her off somehow, okay. I mean, that's, not great, but I think you got to get Jenna Ortega back if you're going to do that. But, I mean, she's busy, too. I mean, she did Beetlejuice 2. She did Wednesday. So, I mean, she's definitely a busy working actress. So, good luck. But, who knows? And who knows if Neve Campbell will come back or Patrick Dempsey or whatever. But, like, it's basically a shit show. So, it's interesting the things that happen in Hollywood sometimes. But, it is what it is. So, those are kind of my thoughts on that stuff, guys, and potential ideas that you could go with there. So cool. Like and subscribe, guys. And like I said, I will actually be recording my thoughts on Creepshow Season 4, which I meant to record a couple weeks ago and didn't hit the record button after I talked for an hour. So I will do kind of a ranking and talk about each episode as much as I can remember them because it's been weeks. And me and Anna will be back tomorrow talking about the Amazing Spider-Man universe and how we would have fixed Part 2 and led it into 3 and stuff like that. And mainly just how to set up this whole Sony universe thing. I'm going to think about that myself. But so cool, guys. Like and subscribe, and I'll be back with the Creepshow video. Have a good one.